do that. And I know everybody's working really hard. There's a meeting tomorrow that's super important. And I truly do believe we're going to get something done here in the next couple of weeks. But like you said,
now, from my understanding, from everything that I have researched, there is going to be an in-person WNBA meeting with WNBA PA committee members, players union, and the owners in person to potentially get a deal signed, sealed, and delivered by tomorrow. Will the deal get done tomorrow? I can't yay or nay that a deal will be.
Caitlin Clark made waves with her first appearance as an NBA analyst for NBC, and the early clips that surfaced online showed she's bringing the same star power to broadcasting that she displayed on the court. Since her college days and throughout her WNBA career, Clark has proven skilled at capturing public attention and building her brand as a recognizable figure in basketball. Released footage showed Clark discussing major developments in women's basketball. When asked about the league's upcoming negotiations, she emphasized that these crucial moments extend beyond just the WNBA and represent significant milestones for all women's sports. Clark expressed confidence that agreements would be reached, crediting the quality of play on the court for creating this opportunity.
Tomorrow. Will the deal get done tomorrow? I can't yay or nay that a deal will be getting done. But as of right now, the people that is hurting the most from the WNBA not being able to get a deal done is the fans. Fans that has garnered and transitioned their lives to support a league that lacked support for so many years. And then not only just lacked support, a lot of these fans was ostracized. A lot of these fans was criticized for being bullies and different things on this internet. But one thing I can say,
she noted an important in-person meeting scheduled with WNBA Players Association committee members, union representatives, and team owners, potentially leading to a finalized agreement. The timing proved critical as fans who recently invested their support in the league after years of minimal attention found themselves caught in the middle of stalled negotiations. These same supporters previously faced criticism and online backlash for their enthusiasm. Questions remain about whether the league will properly position Clark to continue driving growth, as current trends suggest viewership and attendance numbers aren't advancing as hoped. Clark's impact on the league has been undeniable.
Things on this internet. But one thing I can say is that I just pray and hope there is a system in place to make sure the WNBA turn a page, highlight Caitlin Clark, fix her whistle, and make sure they keep her in the right position to help the league to keep growing. Because as of right now, the league is not growing. Everything they're doing is hurting them for its viewership, attendance. All of these different things is playing a factor in the WNBA not.
Within just 2 weeks of being drafted, she helped secure charter flights for players. Despite this contribution, some team owners and even Commissioner Kathy Engelbert made statements suggesting Clark's platform came from the league, overlooking that she arrived with the tools and following needed for success already in place. During her NBC appearance, Clark addressed various topics, including league expansion. She discussed how 2 new franchises would increase the total player pool, followed by free agency and the regular draft process.
WNBA not moving forward into the right direction. You can hate it or love it, but Caitlin Clark has single-handedly helped you young ladies bring proposals to the table. She has single-handedly lifted the boats. She has single-handedly garnered y'all charter flights, for God's sake, within 2 weeks of her being drafted. And just to see the way the WNBA players, WNBA owners, even certain owners coming out, we all remember that, speaking out.
When describing the league's transformation, she recalled attending Minnesota Lynx games as a child during their championship era with Maya Moore, contrasting that with current reality where nearly every arena sells out. With plans to expand from 14 to potentially 18 teams within a few years, the business side appears strong. Though maintaining momentum remains essential as talent levels continue improving from college to professional ranks. Clark also provided analysis of NBA players, specifically praising Luka Doncic's abilities. She broke down how he controls defenders through positioning rather than relying on speed or athleticism, getting opponents exactly where he wants them and using space effectively.
Remember that, speaking out about Caitlin Clark in a negative light. Different people like the commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, pretty much telling Caitlin Clark that if it wasn't for the league, she wouldn't have her platform, not knowing that Caitlin came in the game with everything she needed to be successful. She actually did y'all a favor, but let's finish listening.
said, I mean, there's a lot of boxes that we still need to check. We've added two new teams. I mean, there's going to be more players than ever, and then we have to get into free agency, then have a normal draft as well. So there's a lot of things left to do, but I really do feel confident that both sides are going to reach.
Clark noted this as something she could learn from, admitting her tendency to avoid contact rather than absorb it and claim the space defenders give up. Despite averaging a 30-point triple-double, she acknowledged that Doncic makes an incredibly difficult skill set look effortless. Some viewers took issue with her comments about taking space, arguing Clark herself creates separation with her forearm, though reactions to this observation varied. The broadcast included Clark's first visit to Madison Square Garden for a Knicks game, where she described the unique atmosphere of warming up on that famous court.
Confident that both sides are going to reach a deal here. So.
Yeah, draft slated for April 13th, but the growth of the league has been so much. I mean, can you just help us to understand the transition this league is going on right now?
I mean, it's incredible, and I remember my first WNBA game when I was a young girl. I went to the Minnesota Lynx when they had their dynasty with Maya Moore, and they were playing the Seattle Storm, and now basically any arena you go to, it's sold out. We're adding 2 teams. We're up to 14 now, and then hopefully getting to 18 in the next couple of years. So, you know, business is booming, and that's a really good thing, and we kind of just got to keep meeting the moment. The talent's getting better and better.
She mentioned the special energy when stars like LeBron James visit and praised Knicks fans for their passionate support of basketball. The network also filmed her playing a game of horse with former NBA players Jamal Crawford and Zora Stevenson, showing off her shooting skills in various creative challenges. The segment demonstrated her comfort and personality in front of cameras, suggesting a natural fit for broadcasting work. Separately, Bucks coach Doc Rivers generated controversy with his continued outspoken stance on immigration enforcement.
Talent's getting better and better. You see it at the college level coming into the professional game too. So I feel very fortunate and hopefully have a long career ahead of me as well.
So that was Caitlin Clark giving her first ever NBA analyst. Now there is more little small clips, I believe.
More specifically, because
there's
Caitlin
there next to Carmelo Anthony there.
To yours in the league.
Man, I think Luka. I mean, Luka's amazing and he's incredible. I think the way he can not only score the ball, but also the way he passes. And I think the thing about him is like,
look at how fluid she is, bro. Caitlin Clark was made for this position. I just got to be honest.
When a reporter from Outkick followed up on previous statements, Rivers stood firmly by his earlier characterization of a Minnesota shooting incident as murder and his description of an ICE-related situation as a travesty. Rivers clarified he meant both the legal and moral definitions when using those terms. Rivers provided context about his perspective, mentioning his father served as a police officer and his best friend currently works in law enforcement, with the latter being even more disturbed by recent events. He criticized ICE training standards and questioned why enforcement focused heavily on Minnesota with approximately 130,000 documented immigrants rather than Texas with around 1.7 million undocumented residents. Drawing a connection to the NBA's celebration of Pioneers' Day, Rivers suggested that players like Hakeem Olajuwon could have been targeted under current policies, though he believed only brown-skinned individuals face this risk, which he considers morally wrong.
I just got to be honest, man. Like, she's coming. I don't know if she rehearsed, but she's definitely unscripted.
He's not the fastest. He's not the most athletic, but he can get his defender to move where he wants him to go, and he takes up that space, and he does a really good job of either keeping the defender behind him or keeping him to the side. So I think that's something I can certainly learn from. Like, I always kind of want to run away from the defense rather than absorbing the contact and taking up the space that they give me. So I think, obviously, he's pretty incredible. He averages like a 30-point triple-double. So he makes it look pretty easy, but I can promise you it's not that easy.
Now, certain people.
When asked to clarify whether legal residents of color should worry about ICE, Rivers affirmed everyone should be concerned, referencing statements from DHS leadership about targeting based on appearance and language ability. He noted the lack of enforcement in communities of European descent, stating people can only judge based on observable patterns. While Rivers maintained certainty in his position and acknowledged everyone desires a safer country, he questioned whether current approaches achieve that goal, noting 2 Minnesota individuals would likely disagree with his assessment. Online reactions proved sharply divided.
Duh. And by the way, if you guys don't know, Neka Wumake, basically. And so the weird thing is, like, people have lumped her in with Fee, when in terms of her communication, she's way closer to Stewie. Like, Neka Wumake is basically saying they're going to do whatever they can to have, like, they basically, she's implied they know there needs to be a season. And I think anyone smart knows there needs to be a season. Like, if there's no season, like, they're fucked. Anyone who with a brain knows they're fucked. But let's take a listen to what Caitlin Clark has said.
Multiple commenters pointed out factual.
But let's take a listen to what Caitlin Clark has said.
has ever seen. Looking forward into the future, what would you like to see happen as you come to a negotiation?
Well, honestly, I don't think it's just a big moment for the WNBA. I think all of women's sports, I think this is one of the biggest moments we've ever had. So
Look, I don't think it has anything to do with... I don't think it's going to change anything in women's sports. And we've seen it with the NWSL. Like, the NWSL nearly lost their biggest player because of what has happened right now. Because, let's be real.
Others expressed frustration with his coaching performance while questioning his qualifications to comment on national policy. The debate highlights ongoing tension around whether sports figures should use their platforms for political commentary, particularly during official team events like post-game press conferences. While athletes and coaches have free speech rights, questions persist about appropriate venues for such discussions, especially given that typical workers might face employment consequences for similar workplace behavior. The contrast between personal social media posts and official team functions continues generating discussion about where the line should be drawn.
Their biggest player because of what has happened right now. Because, let's be real, like, I wonder what would happen in the WNBA if, hypothetically, Project B offered Caitlin Clark $15 million to not play in the WNBA, which is basically the Trinity Rodman situation. Their max salary was $350K, but they're paying Trinity Rodman $2 million because she was offered $2 million to go play in Europe. So I wonder what would happen in that scenario. But the NWSL literally tore up their salary cap. They tore up their CBA. They tore up everything in order to...
Both Clark's successful media debut and Rivers' controversial statements demonstrate how sports figures increasingly operate in spaces beyond pure athletics, whether through broadcasting opportunities or political engagement, shaping conversations that extend well past game results. Caitlin Clark appeared on NBC recently, and the interview contained enough material to generate multiple shorter videos rather than one extended piece. Breaking content into 8 to 10-minute segments proves more effective for viewer retention compared to a single 40-minute production. The discussion centered on Clark's appearance and her statements regarding the upcoming CBA negotiations.
CBA, they tore up everything in order to get her to stay, which means nothing because it doesn't change how players are playing the league. It just literally said they made an exception to keep Trinity Rodman there.
So, I feel very confident that we're going to get something done, and that's because we're in this moment because of the product we put on the floor, so we need to be able to continue to do that, and I know everybody's working really hard. There's a meeting tomorrow that's super important, and I truly do believe we're going to get something done here in the next couple of weeks, but like you said, there's a lot of boxes that we still need to check. We've added two new teams. There's going to be more players than ever, and then we have to get into...
When examining whose voice carries weight during collective bargaining discussions, certain athletes hold more influence than others. Brianna Stewart and Nneka Ogwumike's perspectives carry greater significance than Clark's at this stage. What's interesting about Ogwumike is how she communicates differently than some might expect. Her messaging aligns more closely with Stewart's approach rather than with other vocal players. Ogwumike has essentially suggested that all parties understand the necessity of having a season, and anyone with basic comprehension recognizes that failing to have a season would be catastrophic for everyone involved.
There's going to be more players than ever, and then we have to get into free agency, then have a normal draft as well. So there's a lot of things left to do, but I really do feel confident that both sides are going to reach a deal here soon.
Yeah, draft slated for April 13th, but the growth of the league has been so much. Can you just help us to understand the transition this league is going on right now?
It's incredible, and I remember my first WNBA game when I was a young girl. I went to the Minnesota Lynx when they had their dynasty with Maya Moore, and they were playing the Seattle Storm, and now basically any arena you go to, it's sold out. We're adding 2 teams. We're up to 14 now, and then hopefully getting to 18 in the next.
Clark's actual comments deserve attention. During the NBC segment, when questioned about the negotiations and what she hopes to see, Clark emphasized that this moment extends beyond just the WNBA. It represents one of the most significant periods for all women's athletics. However, the notion that this will fundamentally transform women's sports seems questionable. The NWSL situation provides a relevant comparison.
Couple years, so business is booming, and that's a really good thing, and we kind of just got to keep meeting the moment. The talent's getting better and better. You see it at the college level coming into the professional game too, so
and she's not wrong. Like, we've seen it in the fact is like, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. There were no 2019 rookies that were all-stars, if I'm not mistaken. 2019 WNBA all-stars. And that league nearly lost its marquee talent due to ongoing issues.
Consider what might occur if a hypothetical scenario unfolded where an alternative league offered Clark $15 million to skip the WNBA season, essentially mirroring the Trinity Rodman situation. The NWSL's maximum salary stood at $350K, yet they compensated Rodman with $2 million after she received a competing European offer. The league essentially dismantled their salary cap and CBA, creating an exception specifically to retain her.
2019 WNBA All-Stars. And there were 3 rookies. There's been 5 rookies the last 2 years that have been All-Stars. Like, the rookies were there. There was no rookie All-Stars in 2019. Fee, I think, was a reserve by the looks of things. She came in as a reserve. But like that made it that weren't an injury reserve. 2018, Aja, in fairness. 2017, that was the Kelsey Plum year. I don't think
this exception doesn't fundamentally alter competitive dynamics or how athletes perform. It simply represented a special arrangement to prevent her departure. Clark expressed confidence that an agreement will be reached, attributing this optimism to the quality of play the league has showcased. The product on the court drives this momentum, making it essential to maintain that standard. A crucial meeting was scheduled, and Clark stated her genuine belief that a resolution would emerge within weeks.
In fairness, 2017, that was the Kelsey Plum year. I don't think anyone, I don't even know who was Rookie of the Year that year. I don't think it was, I don't think there was a Rookie of the Year. There was a rookie in it that year, 2016. There was no All-Star game. Oh, because it was an Olympic year. 2015, was Jewel Lloyd an All-Star? No. 2014. Who was 2014 All-Star? Was Shawnee Schimmel an All-Star in 2014?
Multiple complications remain, though. 2 expansion franchises mean more athletes than ever before, followed by free agency and the standard draft process. Despite these challenges, Clark conveyed strong confidence that both sides would find common ground soon. The draft was slated for April 13th, and the league's expansion has been remarkable. Clark recalled attending her first WNBA game as a child, watching the Minnesota Lynx during their dynasty era with Maya Moore facing the Seattle Storm.